Welcome to the 41st episode of Metaco Talks. This is a very special edition today with Brad Garlinghouse joining us. Brad is the CEO of Ripple, a leading enterprise blockchain solutions company, and also now the owner of Metaco since May this year. Brad, welcome to Metaco Talks.
Thank you. Glad to know I'm the 41st.
I think it's a good number. So let me start with the question that I guess every single interviewer asks you to start with. You know, we've had very good updates on the status with the American regulators lately. You know, XRP is in and of itself not a security. Can you give us more context? What does it mean? What does it imply for Ripple as a whole?
You know, the macro dynamic in the United States obviously has been frustrating for companies in the U.S., companies wanting to operate in the U.S., and Ripple was kind of at the front end of that with the United States Securities Exchange Commission filing a lawsuit almost 3 years ago now, asserting that Ripple's sales of XRP had been the sale of unregistered securities. So our lawsuit win, which I think also around the same time was an important win in the U.S. courts for a lawsuit around a company called Grayscale, it really, I think, has shown that the chairman of the SEC, a gentleman named Gary Gensler, has, I think, had a failed policy of how do we regulate through enforcement. And that hasn't been effective. It hasn't worked. The courts have now moved against the SEC, and we're, I hope, entering a new age where we can actually have clear policy that is constructive in the United States. And as you said, Adrian, what the judge in our case said, XRP in and of itself is not a security. So now almost, in an unhealthy way, the only two digital assets in the United States that are there's clarity they're not a security is XRP and Bitcoin. And the SEC has continued to kind of, I think, muddy the waters around lots of other things. So creating that confusion, I think, actually has helped the SEC try to retain power, because one of the things I tweeted out a while ago is the idea that confusion masquerades as power. If it's clear the SEC doesn't have authority because these aren't securities, they're the Securities Exchange Commission. So I'm super pleased about it. I think it is creating some momentum in the legislature of the United States to create that clarity. But as you know, Adrian, really well, and I think, certainly a lot of your customers and prospects know, outside the United States, there's been much more clarity, and that has allowed Ripple to grow. 88% of our hiring in Q3 was outside the United States, in places like London and Switzerland and Singapore and Dubai. And that's largely because there has been that clarity. So I'm really pleased about the case. I'm really pleased that we won on everything that matters. But I still think the U.S. is not yet in a, I guess, called constructive place in terms of what the future of crypto looks like in the United States.
That's super interesting. And one thing is that this discussion with the regulators also emphasize a lot the XRP and XRPL component of Ripple. I'll be honest with you, Brad. Until very recently, I always thought Ripple was actually everything about XRPL and XRP. I thought it was a cryptocurrency, and I didn't realize that there was all of this business, which was almost a software and regulated financial service business. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Ripple is doing beyond the distributed ledger and cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I think it's a really important distinction that there are always, I've been in the company now 8.5 years, almost 9 years. And I think there's always been this kind of conflation and confusion between what is Ripple and what is XRP. And I think you understand well, and I think many people are starting to understand better, that XRP is an open source digital asset that anyone can participate in that ecosystem. The code is not controlled by Ripple. The validator network is not controlled by Ripple. We're clearly an interested party in that. We own a lot of XRP, and we think XRP is extremely efficient for many use cases. Not all use cases. We definitely are not maximalists in that we think that there's a place for Bitcoin. There's a place for a lot of other tokens and different use cases. But Ripple at its core is an enterprise infrastructure company focused on blockchain. We started with a use case around payments. We have now expanded beyond that. We introduced a product prior to the Metaco acquisition called Liquidity Hub, focused on managing and sourcing liquidity across the digital asset ecosystem. with the Metaco acquisition earlier this year. We're obviously expanding in custody. And we see ourselves expanding to other use cases focused on that infrastructure side at the enterprise level, really going after financial institutions, enterprises. And, we're really pleased about where we sit there. We certainly think we have. Ripple's sales of XRP had been the sale of unregistered securities. So our lawsuit.
Solo Scrooge.
I think also around the same time as an important win in.
Are we live? Can we hear? Can we?
For a lawsuit around a company called Grayscale. It really, I think, around the same time as an important win.
Are we live? Can we hear? Yes, we're live. We're live. All right, let's carry on.
A ways to go, but I think going back to your core question, there were a lot of people who I think just didn't understand that Ripple is not XRP and XRP is not Ripple, and that's partly because exchanges would list XRP as Ripple, and people say, "Oh, I bought some Ripple." I'm like, no.
I used to say this.
Yeah, and so it's been something that we have combated for a long time, and we'll continue to do so, and just providing education about what Ripple is doing. As you said, Ripple is clearly, if not the leading enterprise infrastructure company around blockchain. We're one of them, and so we're really pleased about that momentum, and we're glad to have Metaco as part of that family.
Well, speaking about Metaco, so you acquired as a company Metaco, and you're the sole owner today. It's obviously a very different kind of business, at least in appearance. We, and I say we because I used to be the founder and CEO. I'm still the CEO. So Metaco was focused on purely the infrastructure, selling custody mainly to the banking institutions. Obviously, Ripple is doing more than this. How do you see the two combining together and creating synergies, creating value?
So look, I think there is customer overlap in that Ripple has a broad sales force as well as existing customer base of financial institutions. Metaco, as you know better than me, has tended to play at the tier 1 level. Ripple has tended to play below the tier 1 level, but I think there's clearly overlap there that has created some positive synergy. I also think as you look at where the product suite, the opportunity for financial institutions broadly is going, it doesn't stop with custody. It doesn't stop with payments. And so it's really, how do different banks, different financial institutions take advantage of a suite of products that would include custody, that could include payments, that could include other capabilities at the infrastructure kind of enterprise level.
Just testing the live, my people. Got to test it out.
Anyone, and certainly the Metaco team, which really just achieved an immense amount of success with a pretty small, lean team and competed very effectively against larger, better funded companies. But the macro environment.
Just bear with me, my people. Need finesse, wear in, I need a new jumper. Need a one with 6 O's, that's a new number. Just shot the whip, was on my 12th runner. Solo Scrooge, sending peace and blessings to you all out there. Hashtag Solo Nation. How's it going, my people? Hope everyone's well. Appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're giving you updates on Sologenic, XRP and Corium. Also hit the like button. That helps the channel grow and pushes the channel through the analytics. So we're live, my people. Live stream. Gotta test out the lives. I want to start off with Watch Your Guru. Watch Your Guru posted a few days ago. Posted Larry Fink. Let's take a look. Let's take a listen. As we know, Bitcoin went up. Cointelegraph, They put out false news, fake news. Bitcoin went up. Then not too long afterwards, Larry Fink was on the air. This is what he had to say.
This rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. This rally is...
So what he's basically saying, that Bitcoin rally, when we just went to 30K a few days ago, you know, it's a race to quality, huh? So we should all go out and buy Bitcoin, basically, he's saying. Is that what he's telling us? Come on, Larry. Look, watch him. Look at his expressions. Look at his expressions when he speaks.
This rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the issues around this.
So the rally was a flight to quality. It's a flight to quality.
War now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. This rally is...
Yeah, crypto will play that role to a flight of quality, but it's not right this second, Larry. It's not right this second, Larry. Or are you telling us that it's a flight to quality, so we should all go out and buy Bitcoin? We should all go and buy Bitcoin at 28K, 29K. Is that what he's telling us? Come on, man. Come on, Larry. My people, just remember, Larry Fink, he's not your friend. He's not your friend, yeah? He's not your friend. He's basically telling everyone now to go and buy Bitcoin. That's what he's basically telling everyone now, to buy Bitcoin. It's a flight to quality. He thinks the rally today or the rally the other day, he thinks it's a flight to quality. So everyone should go and buy Bitcoin at 29,000. Is that what Larry Fink's trying to tell us? Come on, Larry. That doesn't make sense. The average person doesn't even have 29,000. So how is it a flight to quality? Everyone was going to buy Bitcoin. Nah, I don't think so. My people, stay vigilant, stay vigilant, stay vigilant. Blackrock is not your friend. Larry Fink, he's not your friend. He's not our friend, mate. Trust me. Do me a favor, my people. Comment for me. If whoever's in the chat, drop a comment so I can see. So SEC drops charges against Ripple CEO Garlinghouse and Chairman Larsen. The regulator had included them as defendants in its securities violation case revolving around XRP transactions, and the agency now says it's pursuing the central Ripple case. Ripple's top leaders are cleared in the SEC securities violation accusations that have spent years winding their way through federal courts, bridging the overall case closer to an initial conclusion and potentially closer to an appeal. The case is seen as one of the bellwethers in the ongoing dispute between the crypto industry and SEC in what defines a security. The US Securities and Exchange Commission will no longer pursue claims that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse or Executive Chairman Chris Larsen aided and abetted the company in violating federal securities law in its XRP transactions, cancelling a trial scheduled for next year and giving the crypto company another victory in the agency's long-running suit against it while moving the regulator closer to appealing the federal judge's ruling in the case. According to the filing, Thursday afternoon, the parties agreed to voluntarily dismiss the aiding and abetting charges against the two executives with prejudice, meaning it cannot be filed again. The SEC will continue pursuing its claims against Ripple, the filing said. So they're still going after Ripple. So Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen have been cleared, but the SEC are still pursuing Ripple. So it's still ongoing. It's not fully. The case is not fully over. The SEC will continue pursuing its claims against Ripple, the filing said. For nearly 3 years, Chris and I have been the subject of baseless allegations from a rogue regulator with a potential agenda, said Garlinghouse in a statement. Instead of looking for criminals stealing customer funds offshore exchanges that were caught. Let's go again. For nearly 3 years, Chris and I have been the subject of baseless allegations from a rogue regulator with a potential agenda, said Garlinghouse in a statement. Instead of looking for the criminals stealing customer funds on offshore exchanges that were caught in political favor, the SEC went after the good guys. The SEC went after the good guys, Brad's saying. So look, again, sir. So basically, they've dropped their charge. The SEC dropped charges against Ripple CEO Garlinghouse and Chairman Larsen, but they're still pursuing the case against Ripple. The case against Ripple's ongoing. I can't see any comments. If anyone's commenting, I can't see any comments. It's not coming up. It's not popping up. Let's have a look. It's not popping up. Let's have a look again. Comment, my people. Whoever's in the live stream, give me a comment. Let me know what's your name, where you're from. James Allen, shout out to you, my bro. Shout out to you, James Allen. What's going on, brother? How are you, man? We're doing a live stream. We live right now. I'm testing out the live. I got to do more lives. I got to connect with the people on the live more. All good, James. Where you from, my bro? So let's take a look. Brad Garlinghouse posted, today was an even better day. Ripple free, SEC 0. Shout out to you, my bro, from Glasgow. Shout out to James Allen from Glasgow, Scotland, bro. So Brad Garlinghouse posted, in all seriousness, Chris and I, in a case involving no claims of fraud or misrepresentations, were targeted by the SEC in a ruthless attempt to personally ruin us and the company so many have worked hard to build for over a decade. The SEC repeatedly kept its eye off the ball while secretly meeting with the likes of SBF, failing again and again to protect US consumers and businesses. How many millions of taxpayers' dollars were wasted? Feels good to finally be vindicated. Shout outs to Brad. That must be a weight off his shoulders, though. You know, they've dropped the charges off him personally. The charges on the company is one thing, but when they're coming for you personally, it's a whole nother thing. So that must be a weight off his shoulders. So Stuart Alderotti posted, the SEC made a serious mistake going after Brad and Chris personally, and now they've capitulated, dismissing all charges against our executives. This is not a settlement. This is a surrender by the SEC. And you can see the stipulation of voluntary dismissal is hereby stipulated and agreed by and between the parties and their respective counsels that the above captioned action is voluntarily dismissed with prejudice against the defendant Bradley Garlinghouse, Kristen A. Larsen, and without cost pursuant to Rule 41A of the Federal Reserves of Civil Procedure. So shout out to Brad, man. It's a weight off his shoulders. So now Ripple got to deal with the SEC. So look, I know some of you lot have seen this, some haven't. Bob Ras, Trade Talks. Real Sologenic co-creator of Bob Ras joins Jill Malandrino on Nasdaq Trade Talks to discuss why the tokenization of traditional assets is poised to become a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So let's go over this one, see what's being said.
Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Bob Ras, co-creator of Sologenic, to discuss why tokenization of traditional assets is poised to become a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Bob, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
All right, you got it. And Bob, give us a quick background on what tokenization is and how it has the potential to radically transform global trade in traditional financial assets.
Yeah, so basically tokenization is taking the real world asset like a stocks, ETF, or even it could be real estate on blockchain, on chain. And once we are tokenizing assets on blockchain, it's going to give us a lot of benefit, and it's going to solve a lot of problems that they are existing within the traditional.
Do me a favor, my people, hit the like button for me. If you haven't hit the like button already, hit the like button for me. That helps push the channel through the analytics. Let's get back into it.
Financial market, which probably we can touch base on that during the interview.
Right. So what are some of the major financial institutions that are either putting projects in place or they're looking to get major exposure to digital assets?
As you can probably see, you heard about them on the news. Blackrock is one of them. JP Morgan is the other one, and quite frankly, it's very promising. It's great to see that big names that are actually started to look into the tokenization. They realize that there is a value, and with the help of blockchain, with utilizing the blockchain technology, they are going to disrupt the traditional financial market. And we are, as one of the companies that we have been leading in the tokenization industry. I'm so happy to see that, basically big names are coming into the scene right now.
So Bob, tell us about Sologenic, where you fit in the blockchain tokenization ecosystem, and what are you enabling institutions to do? We had this vision from 2020, so long time before, the big name to actually realize the power of tokenization. So we started a project back in 2020, and at that time, nobody was talking about tokenization, but probably we were one of the very first companies that we realized the power of tokenization. We completed, the technology. It took about a year and a half just to develop such a technology. And during that time, we technically, the idea was to launch a tokenized stocks and ETA trading platform, right? And allow retail investors to come to the platform, tokenize, these assets and start trading, which is still, that's the idea. And we reached out to a few different regulatory, authorities back then. It took us about another 2 years back and forth, but unfortunately we couldn't really secure a license, a broker-dealer license, because it was a very new concept. They didn't understand it. So we had, that issue. So we actually changed the idea a little bit. So right now, there are two aspects that we are following. We have two goals at the company that we are following right now. So one goal is we have created Sologenic, which is an institutional tokenization solution, allowing financial institution to bring any asset classes. It could be securities, it could be real estate, it could be commodities on chain. So that's basically our institutional solution that we already released that, and we are in touch with a few big players. Just try to get them adopt the technology. From the other side, in terms of launching our own tokenization platform, we are in the process of acquiring a broker dealer firm. We are looking, basically right now we are at the due diligence step. So once, if that's, if our legal team, they're happy with the due diligence result, then probably we are going to acquire that company, and we are going to launch, the very first tokenized stocks and ETA platform in the world. And just to be clear, this is going to be as a pilot program. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to.
That's big. The first tokenization pilot program. No Sologenic are first runners in tokenization. Life with two sons. Shout out to you, my bro. Multi-trillion-dollar industry, and we're early. We're early in, bro. Bro, I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, bro. We're early in, bro. Early. Tokenization the launch of tokenization on XRPL hasn't even started yet. We're very early, my bro. Trust. Remember to hit the like button as you're coming in, my people.
Offer the service in US, Canada, or EU. This is a pilot program. The idea is we launch a pilot program. We go back to the regulators inside the US, inside Canada, inside the EU, and ask them basically, not ask them, just talk to them and say, hey, we have a pilot program, which is going on for a few months, right? So just to give them more confidence and get them to have a better understanding of the technology.
Right. And Bob, this is, a really big conversation that we're having in the industry right now. We know tokenization, it's built on blockchain that provides the transparency and auditability that financial institutions rely on. I mean, they have to be able to provide that, right? So it feels as if when we talk about mass adoption, and I'm not even just talking about, the trading of the assets, but putting together packaged products such as ETFs and tokenizing what we call real world assets, or TradFi, right? It feels as if we've got to get past that, the regulatory hurdle in the US and get a framework around it. I feel like that's really the next catalyst for mass adoption. Would you agree?
100%, absolutely. I think you're 100% right on that. And as a matter of fact, I would like to take this opportunity and ask SEC and all the other authorities, to develop and create a very fair and transparent regulatory framework around, tokenization and blockchain, and cryptocurrency, right? Which is going to protect investors and innovators. Instead of just taking enforcement actions, against all the blockchain companies, and which you have seen that in the news, right? So they have taken a lot of enforcement action against many companies, inside the US, which end of the day, this is going to push all these companies to go offshore, which all the capital, money, jobs, they're going to go away from US. I think that's not the right attitude. And so I would like to see a more transparent and fair regulatory framework around blockchain technology and tokenization itself.
All right, Bob, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at NASDAQ.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So Bob Ras there discussing on why tokenization of traditional assets is poised to become a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and Sologenic has the first movers advantage. So the tokenization pilot program is going to be big. There's going to be a lot of eyes on that. A lot of big industry players' eyes going to be on that. Sologenic already partnered with Fireblocks. It's coming. David Schwartz already said tokenization should start in a year to a year and a half, and that was about 3 months ago. So it's coming. Tokenization's coming. So hit the like button for me, my people. Comment in there where you're from. What's your name and where you're from. I'm gonna be doing more lives. I gotta be doing more lives nowadays. Just getting to grips with this, with the live streaming and all of that. So ISO 20022, let's do it, posted. BIS 2023 ISO 20022 data report on cross-border payment sites Ripple and Zinfin as contributors. So look, if we come here to this page here, you see the BIS. Hold on, let me just check to see that. This is coming up, yep. So you see the BIS here. So harmonized ISO 20022 data requirements for enhancing cross-border payments. Comments. In March 2023, the BIS Committee on Payments, the BIS Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures, CPMI, published a consultative report ISO 20022 harmonization requirements for enhancing cross-border payments, and invited comments by 31st of May 2023. And the comments are available, but the CPMI thanks those who took time and effort to express their views. And one of those, let's go through this, let's see. So we've got the Bank of Albania, Bank of Israel. But what we've come to see, this is what we wanted to see, Ripple. So Ripple, as we all know, the connections with Ripple, BIS. We've got Zinfin here as well. But Ripple. So let's move on to the next. Let's see what's next. Solo Scrooge, come on my people. Solo Scrooge, give me a follow on Twitter if you're not following me on Twitter. Follow me. Let me know if you was watching this live. If I'm not following you, I'll follow you back. So, what you lot saying though, man? What you lot saying, my people? How's everyone? What time is it in you? What time is it in your country? Wherever you're from, what time is it? See, in the UK, it's 10:32. 10:32 a.m. So come on, let's. So Ripple posted, catch this special episode of Metaco Talks with Brad Garlinghouse and Adrian as they discuss the paradigm shift toward the Internet of Value and what it means for financial and non-financial firms. Don't miss this one. So I was playing some of that at the beginning of the video. At the beginning of the stream, I was playing some of that to sort out to see if the stream was alright. So I'll play some of that in a minute. I'll play a bit more of that in a minute, but let's take a look at the chart, at the Sologenic chart. Hold on, let's see. Is the chart up? Yeah, the chart's up. So let's take a look at the Sologenic chart, my people. Look at that Sologenic right now. Sitting at 10 cents, sitting at 10 cents, 3.94% up on the day. And if you've been watching my technical analysis videos, I was saying that, let me remove this quickly. So I was saying that we look like we're in an ascending triangle. We got the support here. Uptrend and resistance. We came down for support again. Hit the uptrending support, not uptrending resistance. Uptrending support. Hit it once. Came up. Hit it again. So we're pushing upwards. You see that we keep getting coming to a resistance here. Resistance. So we're pushing up again. We want to push out. If we can push out, the first target is at the 0.1189 cents. So we've got to keep an eye on that, my people. Keep an eye on that to see how it's going. On the other hand, if we fall out of this, then we've got around the 6 cents mark, 0.67 cents. But we want to stay in this ascending triangle. We want to stay in this ascending triangle and push to the upside. If you was watching the last videos, the last technical analysis videos, I said we want to bounce off the fibs. So we put the fib here. I left it there. I left the fib here. And as you can see, we pushed up, came back down to the 0.65 of the Fibonacci. The 0.65 of the Fibonacci. And then we bounced up. So we went boom. So we're coming to a resistance. What we want to do, we want to break through that resistance. We want to break through that resistance and push to the upside. And then we take it one step at a time, my people. We take it one step at a time. But Sologenic stayed in the ascending triangle. I said we need to stay above the 0.85 cents to keep this pattern invalid, to keep the pattern valid, and we've stayed above it. So we'll keep a close eye on that, see what's going on that front, my people. Definitely, gotta keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at Corium. So look, XRP sitting at 0.51664 cents, up 0.35 on the day. Corium sitting at 0.07551, up 1% on the day. Let's take a look at the Corium chart. Take a look at the Corium chart, my people. And the Corium chart, I was saying that it looks like we could be forming an inverted head and shoulders. But what I was saying, I thought we could come down to the 0.61 on the Fibonacci or the 6.5 and bounce off that. Oh, look what I did. Let's get that back in motion. Hold on, let's get that back. Take that back, yeah. So I thought we was going to come and bounce off the 618 or the 6.5. But we fell below the 786, came back, pushed up above the 786. Came back down. So we came down, pushed up above it. And so we've got to see how it looks now. But this looks like an inverted head and shoulders, a slanted one. And if this is an inverted head and shoulders that's playing out, this would be the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. But you can see it's slanted. It's to the side. You know, these patterns are tricky sometimes. So, but if this was the inverted head and shoulders triangle playing out, then we could look for a bounce towards the 0.8349. So we'll keep a close look on Corium as well, my people. Definitely keep a close look on Corium. So let's look at crypto bubbles. Let's look at some crypto bubbles. Look, there's crypto bubbles. Hex up 16.6%. I swear Hex was up 37% yesterday as well. But Hex up 16%. Arbitrum up 1.5%. Casper up 4.9%. The other Casper up 1.8%. ICP up 2%. Matic up 3.6%. We need Sologenic and Corium on this list. Marco, what's up, my bro? Marco, what's going on, my brother? How you doing, bro? You alright, bro? What's happening? Just doing the live, Marco. I need to get the lives. I need to get them in. I need to get the lives in. I said, I've been trying it from yesterday. I said, let me try and do a live stream, connect with the people, connect with the Solo Nation, connect with everyone that supports the channel. You know, I appreciate everyone for this love and support of the channel. Trust, I couldn't do it without you. You say you came in for the Corium chart, bro. Yeah, Corium, we're trying to push, bro. Look, Corium, this is where we are in Corium. So we want to break with Corium. Look, we broke above this downtrending resistance. We've come beneath it though, but we want to push back up it. It looks like an inverted head and shoulders, but it has to prove itself. So it's broken out of this resistance, but it's come back down. So we need to get another bounce to push up. That's what I'm seeing with Corium, my bro. Life with Two Sons says, if we go up, good. If we drop, even better. More Solo. Core, and XRP to accumulate until tokenization is fully implemented. You know it, my bro. I fully agree. Bro, that's my mindset. That's my mindset, bro. I'm telling you, that's my mindset. If we go up, cool. But if we go down, it's even better. But I think it will be a short-term rally. I think it will be short-lived. I've put a video out about Bitcoin where I think Bitcoin's going. So Bitcoin will take the whole market with it. But yeah, short-term rally, and then I think a short pump before the dump. A short pump before the greater dump. So what are you lot saying though, man? Remember to like the video as you come in, my people. Remember to like the video. So do you not want to see more of this? Brad Garlinghouse talking disrupt or enable, materializing the internet of value. Do you not want to see more of it? Shall I play 5 more minutes, or let me know? Let me know in the comments if I should play 5 more minutes. I don't want to bore the viewers. You can't bore the viewers. You gotta keep it pushing. Let me know. I'll play. Yeah, James Allen. Shout out to you, my bro. Shout out to you. Cool, bro. I'm gonna continue 5 more minutes or something. Let's go.
Around custody digital assets is expected to be close to $10 trillion by the year 2030. And inevitably, people are going to need a place to store those assets, and safe, secure, and they're going to need to be able to transfer them as well, having good on and off ramps, even a tokenization engine, some of the work Ripple is doing around central bank digital currencies or CBDCs. So we think there's a lot of pieces that come together, and we already had, and I remember when you and I first spoke, I remember being on a call with one of the largest top 10 banks in the world, and a bank Ripple was already working with, and they were asking us about could we help them with their custody. This is prior to the Metaco acquisition, and we weren't in a position to do that. And so when we think about that synergy, the ability to say to that existing Ripple customer, hey, here's a best in class, going head to head time and time again and winning on the custody level, to be able to bring that product to them, I think is a great opportunity for the two companies together. So, I'm really happy about it. I'm curious, if I could turn the tables for a moment. What has been your experience about the synergies as you've been, you've only been here a few months as inside Ripple, but I'm curious what you have seen so far.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to be very honest here. I think we've been very good at one thing at Metaco, which was focus. We've specialized in doing infrastructure, in building security-related software, and we've done it very well. And we've also specialized in our go-to-market into the larger segment of the banking sector. But it was also our weakness, in a sense, because we became so specialized that it became hard for us to emerge beyond infrastructure, if you wish. So we were probably the best at infrastructure. But then getting into the use cases, starting to think, I'm gonna be processing payments. I'm gonna be tokenizing real assets. I'm gonna create value that the banks can truly leverage in and of themselves. What was becoming harder and harder because our team and our go-to-market was specialized on infrastructure. And I think what we're seeing in the collaboration with Ripple is that we are starting to be able to combine this deep expertise in infrastructure and security that Metaco has acquired. Also the network and the success we have on the market with now value-added services, which potentially can leverage also the different...
Remember to hit the like button as you're coming in, my people. Hit the like button for me as you're coming in. Let me know what's your name, where you're from. We're just going over this last 3 more minutes. I won't keep you lot too long.
Licenses that you have as a regulated financial institution, and start selling more vertical offerings that go beyond the pure infrastructure level. So I think that's probably what excites me the most, is that Metaco in itself still exists as it used to be. It's still largely independent, still has its same exact offering with its same ambitions, but it's now able to provide more value to the clients.
Well, one thing you said, it really resonates with me that I think has been important, both in it's not actually a go-to-market synergy, but I think both Metaco and Ripple came from the point of view that regulatory frameworks matter, that compliance matters. And I think in the crypto space, for better, for worse, and in many cases for worse, a lot of players in the crypto space have come from a kind of anti-government, oftentimes, frankly, anti-bank point of view. And I think from the earliest days, Ripple took this point of view that, like, if we want these technologies to have the biggest impact for the largest set of populations to benefit from these technologies, we needed to work with the system. We needed to work with governments and with banks. And, when Ripple has looked at acquisitions over the years, I mean, really, Metaco, for all intents and purposes, is the first acquisition we've ever made. And, for a company in Silicon Valley, kind of 10 years into our history to make our first acquisition, I think we've been patient. And I think part of that is because we wanted to find the right fit, and that meant culturally, from a product strategy point of view. And then, but part of that culture is, as I was just saying, the regulatory posture of kind of respecting that regulations matter globally and leaning into the right kind of licensing, I think, is an area where Metaco and Ripple really saw eye to eye early on. And I think that has served both companies well. And I think, by bringing the two companies together and having Ripple's invested a lot in licensing around the world. We just got our major institutional payments license in Singapore just a month or so ago. And so, we'll continue to lean into that. But I think that part of that cultural fit between Ripple and Metaco is super important to getting a deal done.
I completely agree. I would actually say that the interesting thing of capitalism is that even if you don't truly enjoy everything that comes with regulators and all of the rules and potentially the frictions in developing, if you just look at where the opportunity is, it creates a strong incentive for you to build a business which is going to be aligned with the current frameworks. And whether it's good or bad is, a question of opinion, and it can be a question of politics. But the reality is when Metaco was founded, we were not so much about, is it good or bad that regulators exist? We took the current state of affairs, which was regulators are here. There are massive banks on the market which are managing trillions of dollars worth of assets. At some point, cryptocurrencies and tokenized assets are going to be so big that they will not be in the hands of the retail consumers in their mobile phones, but they will have to be re-centralized in more professional companies that are subject to regulations. Again, whether they like it or not, because there is a top-down push by governments and regulators. And therefore, the opportunity became obvious that there was a need to build such institutional infrastructure. It brings me to the future. So, Brad, I think Ripple has a culture of being very transparent, both internally as a company, but also to the market in how it communicates about its ambitions. I think Metaco maybe a little bit less because we tend to be very conservative with, clients that don't like us to be too transparent. But can you tell us a bit more about the future plans of the company, where you see the company in Q4 and next year, both in terms of product, if you have something to say, or in terms of general trajectory?
Yeah. So first, I want to comment briefly. Your comment about transparency, I think, is an important one because I think particularly in a new category like crypto, you're still building trust. You're still building.
Are you not liking this, my people? Are we liking this? Are we liking what Brad's saying? Are we liking watching this? Hit the like button for me as you come in, my people. We're gonna be doing more lives. Trust Marco, yeah, I see your comment. Play it. Playing it, bro. We're playing it. You don't like it though? Let me know in the comments. I don't want to bore you lot.
People don't know how to think about, and frankly, look, to speak freely, there have been some bad actors, right? I think we're all, to varying degrees, paying attention to the headlines of a interesting trial going on in New York right now with Sam Bankman-Fried. And I think when you do have new technologies and people are trying to figure out how do they take advantage of those to benefit their customers or improve efficiency in their technology, I think you have to build trust. And one of the key things in my lifetime that has built trust, and I mean this on a personal and professional basis, is transparency. And I think Ripple early on decided to, really, we did these things called XRP markets reports once a quarter. And we would publish, and this is dating all the way back to, I think, 2016 or 2017, at a time when a lot of people were very secretive about what was going on in crypto and how much crypto they owned and what they were doing with it. And we decided to kind of buck that trend and be very transparent. Now, ironically, I think that's one of the things that hurt us in the SEC. If people say, why did the SEC go after Ripple? And I think it's partly because we gave them all the information to do so, which felt not so great, ironic in its certain ways. But I still stand by if you want to build trust in new technologies, you want to build trust in new products, you want to build trust in new companies like Ripple and Metaco, then you have to be transparent. You have to, go above and beyond. And certainly, we have tried to do that.
So before you go to the company strategy, speaking about trust, do you think there is a future where the concept of trust can be mostly eliminated because you can essentially trust the infrastructure itself? When we speak about blockchain, we in fact speak of trustless technology because you don't need to trust the legal system. You don't need to trust the counterparty. You can observe everything and it's secured by mathematics and algorithmics. So can you see a future where your statement is actually proven wrong and you no longer need to trust something and somebody?
I am not enough of a fortune teller and future seeker. I think some of those things to me, I'm one person, some of those things to me feel philosophical or academic and not pragmatic. And, I can get my head around that's interesting. That would be interesting. But a lot of times when I read papers and I read companies are building around that, I think, well, wait a minute, that's not the world we live in today. In the world we live in today, you do have counterparties, you do have regulations, you do have compliance. Could that world exist, or could a subset of our economy, in a parallel structure work that way? Maybe. I think I view myself more as a pragmatist, that some of those things feel more academic and philosophical than they do feel like, okay, that really can roll out at scale and benefit millions or frankly billions of customers. One of the promises of crypto and blockchain was to bring some of the underbanked or unbanked into the ecosystem. And I still very much believe that. We haven't really achieved that. And I think in some ways it's because we jump to, well, we'd like the world to look like this. And you do get in the crypto space some, I don't know if it's a word, but religiosity. Like people are guided by a philosophical view to, such an extreme that you're just like, wait a minute, that's not pragmatic. We're not going to actually be able to really move the ball forward. Again, I'm maybe pontificating and ranting a little bit here, but I'm a huge believer in the opportunity represented by crypto and blockchain. And I think sometimes the industry gets its own way by not being transparent and by, unfortunately, having people, like Sam Bankman-Fried or even the Celsius meltdown last year. And, those were, Celsius to some degree was intended to be one of those trustless, yield bearing. And, for me, I looked at it, I didn't participate because I live by the adage, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. And that one certainly felt that way. Anyway, I think I'm off track of your core question around Ripple's strategy. I'll pause there. Anything else around that you want to comment on, or can I?
Well, no, I think we can go back to
Life of Two Sons says insightful. It's insightful, bro. Trust me, bro. Thank you, bro. So my people, we're going to take a look at the liquidation heat map. And then I'm going to leave it there, my people. I'm going to be coming live, doing more lives. We're going to be doing more lives. So look forward to the lives. Let me know what I should incorporate in the lives. So liquidation heat map. Total liquidations in the last 24 hours. 60.52 million wrecked. 28.93 million out of those that went long. And 31.59 million out of those that went short. So it's fairly even liquidations on the long side and the shorts. So they're liquidating both sides, up and down. If you're going long, they're liquidating the people. So for those that are doing leverage, high leverage trading. So shout outs to you, my people. James Allen, Life with Two Sons, Marco, everyone else that's in there. Give me a like button. Hit the like button for me. Appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. If you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video. I'm Solo Scrooge with the Solo News. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Money on my mind and in the end fast. Got the drop at 8 and read out by 10 past. They say then you last first, I'll get the end.